from the beautiful mountains of Sicily overlooking the blue, crystal clear waters of the Mediterranean Sea. I am finally settled in Europe and stoked to be here. This was definitely a long-term goal. Even before building out and traveling in the van, I've been thinking I was going to end up in Europe. So I'm really stoked to be here and really stoked to start pumping out some more videos. It's been a long time coming. Which brings us to the subject at hand, a continuation of our study on passing the guard. Now, if you haven't watched it, there is a link down below for the first video in this series, which was on speed passing. In this particular episode, we're going to go into GRIPS passing, and this is pretty in-depth, so we're going to have a multi-part series. So this is part one. But first, at AOJ, where I trained from white to black belt for nearly a decade, in order to fast track my progress, which, you know, as I explained in the last video, I started jiu-jitsu at 43. That is a much different journey than if you start at 13 or 18 or 23 or 25. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to share this knowledge and start this channel, was because, you know, as an older jiu-jitsu player, you can't spar every day. It's not going to happen. You've got to look to other avenues to learn jiu-jitsu, hopefully at the fastest pace that you can. That was always my goal. And so in order to do that while at AOJ, I created in my mind a hierarchy of all the information that I was taking in. And again, in an academy like AOJ, the details can be overwhelming. Now, as you can see from this pyramid, at the bottom, we've got submissions. And one of the reasons that I love the pyramid as a metaphor for jiu-jitsu knowledge is because not only are submissions the least important in terms of all these concepts, but they're the most plentiful. Above that, we've got positions. And when we start to study positions, what we'll look at is how to control. The details will all involve not just what the position is, but how to really control that position. But to get to that position, you must execute above that a transition. So transitions, really, without a dominant position, there are no submissions. But if you can't execute and you don't know your transitions, then you're lost. And I've been at gyms where I have rolled with even brown and black belts that don't know how to play guard. They don't know really how to pass the guard. Most of the time they spend is on, again, submissions or defending a submission. At the highest level, we have principles. And these are so important because, one, they help me frame everything that I'm learning, and two, they transcend all positions and transitions. So I'll flash a title card when we come across an important principle, and we'll go from there. In keeping with the subject of this series, Masters Jits, as an older student, your time is precious. Not only are you working and you have life responsibilities, but how long are you really going to be able to train jiu-jitsu at your optimum health? So when I teach seminars, I only teach techniques that are proven in competition, that either I've used or I've seen other people used, as opposed to just the thousands, tens of thousands of what I call YouTube moves that are out there. Another thing at AOJ, Guy Mendez, again, my master, really stressed that we should only focus on high percentage moves that don't leave us in a position where we're even more vulnerable if we miss the submission attempt or the transition attempt. Now, passing is a type of a transition from either standing or on our knees to controlling our opponent. And so I first am, thinking of the martial arts concept that was made famous by Anderson Silva, which is flow like water. And so I want the easiest way. Water always tries to find the easiest way first. And so what I'm always thinking, least amount of energy. I might have 5, 6, fights in a tournament, and I want to get there as quick as I can, either to the submission and end the match in 10 seconds or whatever it's going to be. So the first thing that I want to do is try to speed pass. So I'm going to come out according to that first video, again, link below, and I'm going to try and pass without grips because that just takes the least amount of energy. If this fails and my partner gets a grip, or I'm just sitting there and time is running out and I'm trying to speed pass and I'm just not getting there, I will try and control my opponent's legs or push them back and enter into the knee slide position. So one of the first things that I'm going to do, I want to try and get right here. But if I can't get right there, if I'm playing right here and I'm having a hard time, my next position that I want to get to is I want to control and I want to enter into a knee slice position. From here, I am going to be getting grips. And I know that he's going to be getting grips. But I have 3 points of control. I have first his hips. I always want to be pinning my opponent's hips. So my position right here is I'm going to be pushing his hip to the mat. I'm going to have this leg spread to give me balance. And I want to control this leg because I don't want him getting this leg over here on me. I want to control that leg. I can control this leg one of 2 ways. I can either, as I do in no-gi, I can use no grip. And what I do is I take my palm and I place it on the hip bone. I'm deep in here and I can feel that bone. From here, I'm going to flare my elbow out to control his knee. So I have 1 control point on his hip. I have a second on this leg, on this side of the hip. My 3rd point is I'm going to grab the collar. When I grab the collar, this is a form of breaking his posture because he has the most power and he can breathe easiest when his spine is aligned. I want to pull his spine out of alignment. And so the way to do that is to grab the collar and I pull the gi, just like this, just enough to where it's more difficult for him to breathe and he's not as strong. This is my knee slide position. This is my first pass that I'm going to go for. But there are a few things that are very important here as far as principles. Number 1 is when I am passing in the gi, I always want to grab this collar right here, this same side collar right here, okay? Number 2, if I can get a grip right here, then I'm going to grab. I always want to use a grip on the pant or on the sleeve that's like a spider grip, like this, right here. So I get the same grip, fingers together, I get it on the pant. Now right away, he is going to start trying to get his knee and push me away, or his foot. I come in right here as he starts to kick, and I come, boom, right here. So I push away, and then I create that shelf. So I want there to be tension, and that way, if he tries to come under my arm, I can follow and block. If he tries to go over the top, I can follow and block. Or as soon as I get to this position, I get here and I get my arm here and I crank my elbow out. As soon as I crank my elbow out, I'm ducking my elbow and my shoulder so that foot can't come over. As I'm pulling him, I'm sliding my knee to the mat, and then I slide sideways. I'm hooking the inside of his leg with my foot to control him. Now, I keep this grip right here, and I keep the pressure on his hip, right? He's going to try to get the underhook on me. As I feel that, then I pummel inside and get it, and I come under right here. I grab my own collar, and I complete my pass.
Some days I need my time alone to wander miles from my home. That doesn't mean I'm ever far away from you. That same cloud above, I'm watching wander through the blue.
Now, as I am passing, and a very important principle here is I tell people this is code red. You never can let your opponent get a sleeve grip. If that opponent gets a sleeve grip, my left sleeve grip, I have to stop. It is code red, and I have to break that sleeve grip. Nothing else matters. So I have two ways of doing it. I'm either gonna take my palm and I'm gonna, as hard as I can, break that grip while pulling, or I'm going to circle. And you will see in matches where opponents do this again and again and again, where they're just breaking, the guard passer is breaking. And the guard player is continually trying to get this. When I'm playing guard, I want this grip. I want to control this arm. Why? Because you are a table. And if you take away the leg of the table falls and you get swept or you sweep. As soon as I get that playing guard, I'm sweeping. I'm attempting a sweep. I don't care how ugly or, just unorthodox the sweep is. I'm just pulling as hard as I can to push right there. So we got to break that grip. Very, very important principle. Conversely, as the guard player, you can never let your opponent grab your collar or your head. That's it for part one. Lots to study and drill. Watch this video many, many times because there are a lot of details here. In the next episode, we will continue delving deeper into the dark arts of grip passing, showing what to do with the knee slide when it's blocked, and we don't want to continue wasting energy. As we did in speed passing, we are going to start going side to side, okay? And we're going to flow like water and waste as little energy as possible and save our grips. Like and subscribe. These videos are going to start coming a lot more consistently. You can follow me on Instagram, either at Nick the Tooth or Masters Jits, and DM me there, or even here, leave any comments or questions, and I'll try covering those things, and we'll probably do a Q&A before long as far as videos go. But keep training, and just remember, the most important thing is walking through that door. And whether you're the hammer or the nail that day, it doesn't matter. Adios.